One. Hello, everyone. My name is Zach Halper. I am a media strategist with Momentum Communications Group. We are a PR firm that specializes in nonprofit and education. We're here joined today by Scott Short, who is CEO of RiseBoro Community Partnership. He's been gracious enough to spend a little bit of time with us to talk about how his nonprofit is operating during this unprecedented coronavirus pandemic. So we're very pleased to have him with us today to talk with us. So Scott, thank you for joining us. My first question for you, Scott, would just be tell us a little bit about RiseBoro, its history, and what you guys do.
Sure. Thanks, Zach, and I'm happy to be here. So RiseBoro Community Partnership is a 46-year-old community development corporation based in Bushwick, Brooklyn. We offer services throughout the 5 boroughs, but home base for us is Bushwick and surrounding communities in North Brooklyn. And we provide services in a range of comprehensive settings for people, seniors, youth, trying to provide a holistic set of services that really address the needs of low-income communities from cradle to grave and give them the resources they need to thrive. And our mission is to unleash the potential of communities to thrive no matter the odds.
That's great, Scott. Yeah, the work we've been doing with you over the past 6 months or so really given us a firsthand look at some of the inspiring work you do. And I think that just leads me to my next question, which is, how has that work changed and how have you responded because of the challenges presented by the coronavirus pandemic?
So it has been an extremely challenging time, especially over the last month. We have had to figure out how to provide all of our kind of operational back office functions remotely while we're still supporting a large number of staff in the field doing frontline human service work that are continuing to get out there and really being the unsung heroes of this crisis. We have a number of building maintenance workers, almost 100 property management and building maintenance staff who are showing up every day and are really the ones who are enabling people, tenants in our buildings to shelter it in place and stay safe throughout this crisis. We've seen a huge upswing in demand for our food access programs. We provide thousands of Meals on Wheels on a daily basis, and the demand for that has only increased as many of the seniors that used to come to our senior centers to get a congregate meal are now sheltering in place and needing to get food delivered to them. So we have an incredible staff of cooks and drivers and deliverers who show up every day and make sure that seniors are getting fed. We also have other food access programs that have been stood up specifically in response to the coronavirus crisis, like a pop-up food pantry that we've just initiated and are accepting donations and getting food out to people in need. And then we have a number of critical care workers, our home attendants that operate through our home care program that are out there serving homebound seniors and making sure that they're able to stay healthy and safe in their homes. And then a number of other social work staff that are working with people facing housing crises in this pandemic, who are working with seniors who are anxious or depressed or dealing with needs around benefits or health care. So the RiseBoro staff has stepped up incredibly despite these challenging times, and that's been one of the real bright spots for me leading this organization despite the incredible challenges that we're facing organizationally and as a community.
Incredible. Yeah. You talk a little bit, Scott, about the unsung heroes and the incredible work that you and your staff are doing. How has communications played a role in helping to get that message out to the public? How important is that uh, uh, role of communications during this time right
Yeah, I think we're actually seeing the role of communications becoming even more important. As you know, there's so many people out there who are looking for a vehicle through which they can help be part of the solution for this pandemic that we're facing. And for many people, RiseBoro has become that vehicle, and they want to help. They want to understand what we're doing and be part of the solutions that we're offering. And so I think we have kind of amped up our communication, both from an owned media strategy, our social media, our website, as well as the earned media. There's been an uptick in interest among press outlets for stories that kind of show the bright spots of this crisis, show the resilience of the human spirit, and kind of can give people some hope and optimism that we're going to emerge from this stronger as a society. And so we've certainly been taking advantage of those opportunities and trying to get our story out there, and all the incredible work being done by RiseBoro staff out there through those outlets. And then at the same time, we're facing some challenges in dealing with many of our government partners, and that's where the tool of communication as more of an advocacy outlet, where we can get our voice heard and advocate for the change that we need to see at a policy level or at a government level, to make sure that the people that we serve, the most vulnerable people who are the ones who are suffering the most from this crisis, are getting the resources that they need, that the policymakers are paying attention to their needs, and really prioritizing them over some of the corporate needs that also have been advocating for funding through this crisis. So I think we also have a role to play through opinion pieces and through sharing the stories of our clients, and communications is critical to all of that work.
now? Absolutely, yeah. We're looking forward to helping you spread that word in the coming months and weeks. We're going to wrap up soon, Scott, but before I let you go, get back to the important work you're doing, I just want to ask you for your one best piece of advice to nonprofits for dealing with this crisis right now.
Yeah, I think I would say it's a bit cliched, but I believe it to be true that a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And I think in the context of the human service work that we do at RiseBoro and that many of our peers do across the sector, what that means for me is now is our opportunity to take some of the experiences that we're having while the spotlight is on us and is on the vulnerable clients that we serve, and really try to use the experience that we're having and the challenges that our clients are facing to try to drive some more equitable change into the systems of government, the social systems that we operate under. And we've seen how inequitably coronavirus has impacted communities of color and low-income communities, and it's not an accident. It's because of legacies of systemic racism and systemic underinvestment in poor communities across this country. And I think it's now is our opportunity as advocates for justice, as advocates for the people who are suffering through this, to make our voices heard and demand that we don't go back to business as usual after this crisis. That we don't go back to this boom bust cycle where all the wealth gets further concentrated at the top of the pyramid, and people in low income communities continue to suffer. So I think that's the biggest outcome that I hope to achieve for society through this crisis. And I would encourage all my nonprofit peers and all my human service peers to continue to share their stories so we can start to drive this social change that's so needed.
Very well said, Scott. Well, thank you again, Scott, for your time, and have a great day, and take care.
My pleasure, Zach. Take care.